And like what you're saying about like, I really just hope that Ultra could make somebody into the kind of person you're saying you are, where that we are saying we are,
Hmm.
where you're just kind of learning for the sake of learning. Like that's
Yeah.
just the best thing that I can communicate. I mean, that's like what I learned from Ultra. It's like I like learning actually just didn't even be like a. It wasn't even like a I'm gonna learn because I need to do well on a test kind of way. And
Yeah.
I've been thinking about a lot. I've been thinking a lot recently about standardized testing and the education system for a number of
Yeah.
different reasons. But that's one thing where I'm like, you learn because you want to pass a test. You learn because you want to get a grade. It's like I learned because and this was actually early on. Like once I really got the hang of the rapping thing, and I'm talking like 2, 3 years in. I'm 15, 16.
Hmm.
I started going to class looking for stuff to rap about. That's why I was paying attention,
Yeah.
right? So it wasn't just like I need to pay attention to this because I need to go to school and I need to get good grades,
Yeah.
regardless of how boring the teacher is. It's just whatever. It's like, wait a second, you can go to class because it's actually fun to learn something. And
Hmm.
my reason is actually really specific. I don't think it's one that you can really adopt, but like the idea that I mean the question, the the stereotypical question, when are we going to actually use any of this? Like it's like I have my answer, right? It's just like this is me
Yeah.
using everything I've ever used and ever learned in school. But even then, to just get the principle out of it of you can. It's like, look, maybe you don't use differential calculus in your job or whatever, but it's like maybe you learned how to handle difficult situations in a math context specifically, like math homework. It's a different kind of
Yeah.
stress and a different kind of muscle that gets activated if you're trying to solve a math problem rather than writing an essay, let's say. And it
Yeah.
takes it like I don't think it's that big of a like jump to be like to actually come up with an answer for that question. It's like okay, yeah, maybe you don't use calculus or whatever, but it's like obviously. So if you go into class being like, I'm going to get something out of this,
Hmm.
maybe it's not doing the math, but maybe it's doing anything or being motivated to do something, right? Like, it's really hard thing to like get across to people, but just the joy of learning and the fun of curiosity,
Hmm.
like the fun of not knowing something and then like that journey, that process of not knowing something and then slowly having it revealed to you that in such a way that makes it so you know something now. That's just priceless to me. And I'm like, why can't this be priceless for anybody? And I'm hoping that it might be that it's boring, that school is boring and teachers are bad and whatever, and like all that.
Yeah.
Eh,
I was gonna say that when you find a teacher or a professor that really knows how to teach and really
yes,
knows
yes,
um, how to express how interesting a subject actually is,
yes,
that makes such a difference.
yes,
I had art history teachers
yes.
that would just teach from a book, and it was the most
Mm.
boring class
Yeah,
ever,
yeah, yeah.
because
Oh
it's like,
man.
oh, you're gonna read, you're gonna look at
Oh,
stuff, remember this, okay, great.
oh man,
but
no.
but then you have ones that like go into like little tangents about like why they like this artist, and like what
Right,
they did in
right.
their life and that kind of
Yes,
thing, and little you can tell that they care, and
yes,
maybe that's what
yes,
it is showing somebody that you care about
yes, yes,
what you're talking
yes.
about. It makes a
Yes,
difference.
you're not teaching the material, you're teaching caring. You're
Hmm.
teaching somebody how to care about something. As
Yeah.
boring as what art history may be for some people, it'd be like, no, wait, you're not teaching them the material, you're teaching them how fun it is to know all this stuff.
Hmm.
Like, so it's deeper than that. Of course, you're not going to use art history like that in your life like that.
Right.
Like, but if you're exposed to something like that, that's what you learn. That's what you learn in the classes. This is what I've been thinking about with the educational system stuff that I've been looking into. Like, what is school even for, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it to expand is IQs? Is it to biggen brains or whatever? It's like maybe, but is it also to teach people about how to be people? Maybe, and that's
Yeah.
different, right? It's like a lot of questions to be raised there, but like that's one thing of what are teachers supposed to teach? The
Yeah.
material or curiosity?
Hmm.
And that's where I'm at. And like everything that you said, by the way, I would, my heart would shatter if I were in an art history class with somebody who just taught it out of the book. Oh my god.
It was awful.
Oh, oh,
I,
oh.
I've had very bad art professors, and oh, the one. So we got to the final day of class. We had just taken the final, which is a written essay final, and I had written a paper, and the paper was supposed to be like 4 pages or something like that, and it was on an artist that she just kind of assigned out of the book and whatever. And I had done the thing, and it was, my paper was awful, and she gave it back the last day and gave me like it was like a D or something, because like I just didn't care, you know. And I got it back, and it said, "We need to talk about this." And I was already handing in my final, and I knew I was doing fine, and I knew I'd passed, so I was like, fuck it, I'm leaving. I mean, like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's
Dang.
if I would have cared, A, that paper would have been a lot better, but B, you know, I would have stayed and actually talked through things. And it's teaching, the mark of a good teacher, man. If you can
Yes.
have a good conversation, and you know that they're excited about what they're talking about, it
Right.
makes all the difference.
Right. And that is just, it's understandable, but it's so justified what you did, but it's also just so, it shouldn't be like that. You should have done that given the circumstances, but like systemically, that is not how that. Yeah, that is not how that's supposed to go. And so, given everything that I've said here too, I'm hoping that that's what I can do too, and not be like a 50-year-old flamboyant man teaching art history or something. Like, I can be somebody who's in the seats, right? I can be like in the classroom on the other side, being like, "Hey, I'm having a really good time learning all this stuff," right? It doesn't have to be a teacher being like, "Hey, let me convince you that math is actually fun." It's like I'm sitting here being like, "Wow, this shit is incredible," and like I mean it, right? Being it just as somebody who's also in the class too. I mean, like I try to literally do this, right? Like me being the theatrical person that I am in accounting class, right? It's like everybody's there and just kind of, it's accounting, right?
Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
you like, and the teacher was incredible, but it's like, it's accounting. So like you can only imagine people are just kind of dozing off or whatever. But I'm over here in the front of the class, being like leaning all the way forward, being like, and making very obvious that I enjoy. Look, it's a kind of performance. Like I, being as theatrical as I am, I can't help. I hope you've seen through this whole time how much I've been gesturing and like being all over. Like this is just how I am, and if I care about something, I care about it very theatrically, very obviously, very visually, and so if I can model anything, and that's like something that I think sticks with people when it comes to teachers as well. It's like the people who are animated and they speak dynamically and they're like they love it and you can see the emotion, but the emotion is there, but also the visibility of that emotion, right? And all I can do is hope to be something like that for school in general, like not even just math or history or something, right? It's like learning, right? Just being an ambassador for learning, because that's what nerdcore could be, I think, right? It's like if like so if nerds are super into like school or whatever and they have their little after school study groups where they all just sit and have fun together and they study and they learn together, awesome. But it could also be like, and so what are they using rap for? That where it's like in a study group type of insular type something where I'm just like, wait, if you take this rapping medium, maybe you could take somebody who's a fan of rap music, and I mean rap music nowadays, mainstream rap music, and show them that there's a way to do this so that being smart and being good in school is actually a good thing. And not just a good thing, but a thing worth bragging about. And not just worth bragging about, but literally having it being something worth holding over people's heads competitively, right? Like, because that's what hip hop is, braggadocio. It's competition. It's I'm better than you. And that's something that I felt like it was missing from nerdcore, very much so. Like I say, insular. Everybody's super. I want to rap about computers and stuff like that, and I only want to do that. And I like my thing. I want to express how much I like my thing. Awesome, go ahead. As much as I wanted to be like a nerdcore rapper, like I said, like I kind of just wanted to be a rapper first. I wasn't like nerdcore, like whatever. It's just like I want to rap, and that means if I end up in a battle rap situation, it's a competition type thing where it's like, and stereotypically, nerds are kind of averse to conflict. You know, they don't like sports, right?
Yeah.
They just like over here on the side. And I'm over here on the football team, being like, I will show up everybody. Like, I'm the quarterback too, low key. But I'm still doing well in all my classes or whatever. Something with the cheerleaders too. But like, literally all that going on too. And I mean it. Like, if the jocks like rap music, fine, let me rap and have it not be a nerd jock thing. Just be like, look, I can rap. And hopefully, if we're just talking about that, I can get some kind of cred, some kind of respect. I can get my due. And then from that, be like, oh, yeah, by the way, not only can I rap my head off, I care a lot about learning, and that's why I'm using the skills that I have. I have skills. Here are my skills. But so this is kind of what I want to be in music, but also in life too. Like I'm saying, like in my classes as a tutor, right? Being like, hey, just so you know, like I must have been really, really odd in the accounting lab, the computer lab, and then me being all loud, like being like super excited to teach people about supply and demand and whatever. Like I can only imagine what they were expecting when they went to economics tutoring and then found me there. Like, but that's the point. That's what I'm saying. It's being like, yeah, I do theater. I'm a theater kid, kind of. That's generous, but like I'm a theatrical person, and here I am tutoring you in economics because get you somebody who can do both a little bit, like kind of. But like, that's the thing to like be because I don't think it's that crazy too. To like, I again, like, why hasn't anybody done this yet? What is nobody doing that they should be doing in nerdcore?
Yeah.
Taking their nerdiness and their intellect and holding it over people's heads and being like, I'm smarter than you, therefore I'm a better rapper than you. End of discussion, right? Like, it's not even like a jokey, self-deprecating thing. It's like, look, I came to play, and I hope I can model that, not to be the stereotypical nerd that is super focused on one subject and whatever. It's like I try to be multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and have that be the thing I promote. If rap is going to be used to promote, and there's a whole stupid, well, not stupid, but like the moral conversation of materialism and all the values that hip hop is promoting nowadays, but like, okay, fine, that's the what, hip hop is the how. Fine, what can I use in this how? Curiosity, intellect, awareness, like self-discovery, self-actualization, maybe, if we want to get super heady about it. But yeah, like I want to be that person, like that kind of a teacher, which is, I mean, I hope that puts the syllabus in a little bit of a different context. It's not just a joke. It's like, I kind of got something here. And like, if I can, I don't want to like, it's like a dance that I go back and forth between of like, is everything that I'm saying here worth saying? I mean, I hope so if you're listening to it, like, you know, like, I hope that everything I'm saying here makes sense, but it's also just like, who, at the same time, who am I to say that I can teach anybody anything? Which is just galactic intellectual humility. It's just like, big, who am I to know anything at all? I mean, right? Like, that's the core of like scientific, philosophical kind of thinking, where it's like, before you even start to make any sort of progress, you got to be like, hold on, just so you know, you got to get humbled and be like, I don't know anything. Something Socrates, like, I know what I not know. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
But then, so that had like, I have my reservations because of that principle that I live by. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, if we're talking wordsmanship and innovative mindset, where I'm like, I didn't just rap for 10 years just to rap, right? I'm like, I wanted to do something different from the jump. Like, I wanted to do something nobody had ever done before from the beginning. I mean, in middle school, when I first started rapping, I was like, I want to be different. I don't want to be good. I don't want to be famous. I want to be different.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's such a destitute value nowadays. And if I can model anything, it's that being different, and this is not new at all, but, well, being different is good, obviously. So many people have made that argument. It's like, being different doesn't mean you can't make rap music. Hey, yeah. But it's also like, being different and being a weirdo and being cool are not mutually exclusive. And cool is its own thing to unpack. But you
Yeah.
have your cool teachers, right? Where it's like that
Oh
teacher's
yeah.
really cool and they're relatable, something like that, in really like vague way.
Hmm.
And some teachers like, and then some people are unfortunately cool teachers, but then you get the test results back, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
those grades aren't very cool, are they? But there are teachers that can thread that needle and be like,
Hmm.
not only are they cool and relatable and funny and personable and nice and warm, but they're also good at what they do. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, if I can try to be anything, I would want it to be that. To be like,
Yeah.
to have that kind of universal appeal. That's what I'm hoping for. Like, if I end up like a really niche nerdcore person just based off personality, like
Hmm.
I'm just a weirdo and have that nerdy, stereotypical nerd kind of persona, then maybe, I don't know, it depends on how people interpret me, but I hope that I can present myself as like, yeah, I can talk this wordily, but at the same time, I can, be all the things that a nerd shouldn't be. You
Hmm.
don't normally think of, right?
Yeah.
So, and that means aggressive. That means competitive and being willing to play. So instead of being like, so instead of a teacher being relatable and being like, I know about all the new TikTok dances or whatever, like joining it like in that kind of way, like that relatability, like, oh my god, this teacher's so cool. Maybe that has potential for cringe, but like instead of trying to reach people in that way,
Hmm.
to do it in hip hop, it's like you gotta come with it, right? And like I don't see outside of MC Front a lot really anybody who's really like if you put him in a battle, like a real battle, like I've seen like battle rap where it's
Hmm.
just one rapper versus another, no
Yeah.
beat, talk, just bars. That's it. It's like, can you imagine any nerdcore person going up against like a seasoned battle? Well, maybe not seasoned, but like even like an amateur battle rapper who like that's their thing, that's their bag, right? Can you imagine what it would look like if an amateur battle rapper and an like the best nerdcore artist stepped in the ring together? It's like it's no contest still, and I want to step in and be like, and I want to wreck, and it's
Hmm.
like that's how you relate. You prove your worth, and you say, I didn't come to mess around. I didn't come here to make friends, right? It's like the nerdcore is really great. It's warm because it's about everybody being friends together. It's about outsiders coming together and forming their own inside
Yeah.
around this campfire of nerdcore hip hop. Awesome. But I didn't come to play street ball. I came to play in the NBA. And I hope that means something when it comes to music, but even outside, just to be like, I hope you get a sense of like if you were to meet me at my college or whatever in person and you saw me work,
Hmm.
like this isn't like a nerdy person doing like this is somebody who gets something done. Like I don't know what you normally think of when you think of nerdcore, but I don't think it's that. Like somebody who just like is forthright with what they want to do. And like so I hope you see what I'm saying here. Like teachers, the way to be a relatable cool teacher is kind of to just relate with kids.
Hmm.
But nowadays because there's a lot to say about youth culture now, but I think part of it is that aggression and that competition, and like being aware of what the standards are, what the rules are now. And that's
Hmm.
the thing. Like so many nerdcore artists, nearly all of them, probably all of them, pretty much, play by their own developed sense of rules,
Sure.
the list of rules, right? And they're just over here winning every time because the rules allow them to do that because they wrote them. So, because if they stepped out and played by hip hop rule, they would get demolished. But here I am trying to do both, being like, okay, fine. The world of hip hop nowadays is tough, but I'm tougher. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna play and I'm gonna get my props. And after I do that, I'm gonna get my word in. Once I get my
Hmm.
foot in the door, that's how these nerdy somethings can spread. Just to like, and again, I hope you see that like this sounds like some big fancy plan, but at the same time, it's just this is the kind of person that I am. I would be doing this anyway
Hmm.
if I weren't calling it out and saying it's some big fancy something. It's like this is just I like nerdcore hip hop and I like hip hop just in general and I like music. And I was in some a musical in high school, but I was also in ROTC for 3 years. And like that's gonna just spread everything all over the place. So I hope it just sounds that way. That if there's anything I can be, it's that kind of person where the life I lived has just led me to what would seem like chaos
Mhm.
because I've just pinballed, ricocheted all over the place in terms of who I am and what I should do and all of, but like it seems like it shouldn't work, shouldn't it? Ultra seems like it shouldn't work, shouldn't it? But here I am, and if I can do it, dot dot dot. I don't know what you asked, but again, like, um, yeah. Like that's the importance of teaching somebody something, I guess.
Yeah.
Being like, this is how you teach somebody nowadays. If you're
Mhm.
not a teacher, an older person, like, if I can teach something, it's that. It's teaching people my age that you don't have to act your age, I guess. You can be way younger in terms of delight and wonderment, but way older in terms of wisdom and willingness to explore. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if that's obvious in Ultra, but I want to like that's a long term vision for Ultra. Like if I get in front again, aside from the music, just I want to do this as a person,
Yeah.
right? Like not Mr. Master or anything. It's just like this is me as a person being like curiosity is important. Obviously, if Magic School Bus isn't gonna just make you like for some people it's just gonna magic school you into a curious individual, but sometimes it's not. Children's programming just doesn't do that all the time. Maybe it takes somebody who's a little more rebellious and a little more something like that, right? A little different, right? Just a
Yeah.
different way of like it's the same idea. Like there's another thing too. Like Ultra is meant to be like principally in terms of principles, Ultra is kind of educational music, which groups it in together with children's music,
Mhm.
sonically based on the stuff that I sample, but just in terms of Sesame Street, like it sounds like Sesame Street the samples, but also I hope it sounds like Sesame Street just in terms of what I'm doing, like teaching, like it's teaching stuff. And again, I don't know if it's obvious, but that's where I hope to make that more and more obvious. So maybe if Zubumafu didn't make you want to learn about evolutionary biology like that, maybe
Mhm.
I can put it in Ultra and then it'll be interesting, right? Because
Yeah.
it is, right? It's like literally how many times like or like the teacher thing where it's like I never would have known that I liked physics if I didn't run into this teacher I had and then it's just like, oh my god, that's what they showed me. Not
Yeah.
that physics is easy to understand, but that physics is a thing you can devote your entire life to. The
Yeah.
physics that I can devote my entire life to. That's like really fundamental foundational teaching and I hope I can do that not for a specific field but for intellectualism in general.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah, man.